Pay attention to the feeling that arrives before thought. In the space between seeing and choosing, something happens that logic cannot fully explain. When presented with 5 distinct necklaces, there is often one that captures your awareness instantly. This is not about superiority or aesthetic perfection. It is about recognition, as though some invisible thread connects you to that particular symbol. This initial moment of attraction reveals far more than we typically acknowledge. We construct narratives around our decision-making processes, convincing ourselves that choices emerge from careful consideration and rational comparison. Yet when symbolic objects enter our field of vision, rational analysis frequently dissolves. What emerges instead is an ancient form of knowing, a wordless intelligence that operates beneath conscious awareness. This internal guidance system draws upon emotional archives and unspoken truths that exist beyond language. Throughout human history, necklaces have functioned as far more than ornamental accessories. They have served as talismans of protection, markers of identity, vessels of memory, and emblems of personal power. Across vastly different civilizations, individuals selected symbols not to perform for external audiences, but to honor internal realities, the things they held sacred, the forces they respected, the transformations they were experiencing. Your attraction to a particular necklace in this moment cannot be dismissed as arbitrary chance. In this psychological exploration, you are not selecting jewelry you would purchase in a store. You are identifying a mirror that reflects your present psychological landscape. This is not about your permanent character or lifelong patterns. This is about who you are becoming right now, in this specific chapter of your existence. Allow yourself a moment of unhurried observation. Look at each necklace again with soft attention. Notice which one generates a feeling of resonance, ease, interest, or even subtle resistance. Do not interrogate your response or demand logical justification. Understanding will arrive in its own time. For this initial phase, permit your instinctive wisdom to guide you. There exists no superior choice among these symbols, no hierarchy of correctness. Each necklace embodies a distinct psychological frequency, and each one speaks to different internal requirements. What holds genuine importance is authenticity, the willingness to choose without manipulating the outcome to fit an idealized self-image. If your selection is already crystallized, hold that awareness lightly without second-guessing. If uncertainty remains, recognize that hesitation itself carries meaning and information. Before we journey deeper into interpretation, I want to acknowledge something. If reflective exercises like this one bring you value, if these moments of self-inquiry help you see yourself with greater clarity, I invite you to engage with this content by liking and subscribing. Your support allows this work to reach others who are searching for depth beyond surface-level entertainment. You are also welcome to share in the comments which necklace resonated with you. Reading how others experience these symbols often illuminates dimensions of our own response that we had not previously considered. In the section that follows, we will explore the first necklace, a symbol connected to inner tranquility, emotional complexity, and instinctive knowing. If this particular necklace drew you in, the insights ahead may clarify patterns you have sensed but not yet named. And even if this was not your choice, remain present to what is shared. Sometimes the perspectives we instinctively avoid are precisely the ones that hold transformative potential for our growth. If the first necklace captured your awareness, the attraction probably arrived without fanfare or intensity. It did not insist upon selection. It did not compete for your notice. It simply existed, steady, serene, and undeniably present. This necklace resonates with individuals who inhabit their internal landscape with particular richness. You may not verbalize every emotion that moves through you, but this restraint does not indicate emotional shallowness. Quite the contrary. Your feeling life possesses remarkable depth, texture with heightened sensitivity, acute perception, and psychological subtlety. Those aligned with this necklace typically register details that escape common observation, shifts in vocal quality, unexpressed feelings, minute alterations in relational atmosphere. Your intuitive capacity does not result from deliberate cultivation, but from natural attentiveness. You perceive before analyzing. You feel before articulating. This quality represents genuine strength. While others rush toward premature conclusions, you allow time for understanding to develop. While others react impulsively, You create space for reflection. You recognize that not every situation demands immediate intervention. Some circumstances call for presence and awareness rather than action. This selection frequently indicates someone who prioritizes emotional safety, inner equilibrium, and genuine self-expression. You are probably discerning about intimacy, granting access to your inner world selectively, not from coldness but from consciousness. When you choose to reveal your depths, you do so with sincerity and intention. However, this sensitivity carries complications. There are times when you withdraw too completely into solitude. You may contain emotions privately rather than allowing them natural expression and release. A pattern can develop where you carry psychological weight alone, operating under the belief that isolation is simpler than explanation. You might also question your intuitive knowing when external voices grow demanding, doubting yourself even when your internal guidance has already spoken with clarity. The essential teaching of this necklace is not retreat, but confidence. Confidence that your intuition deserves acknowledgement in visible action, not just private contemplation. Confidence that your emotional responses are not character flaws, but intelligent signals. Your evolution does not require becoming more assertive or emotionally armored. It requires learning when to step into visibility with gentleness, honesty, and without self-diminishment. If this necklace elected you, your current life passage may be inviting you to harmonize inner stillness with outward authenticity, to value your contemplative nature while simultaneously allowing others to witness your truth. As we transition, observe how the emotional atmosphere transforms. The following necklace carries substantially greater density, appearing darker, more textured, and considerably more intense. Where the first communicated through subtle whispers, the next emerges from shadowed depths. It represents a different expression of strength, one forged through challenge rather than protected through withdrawal. Even if your choice was not the first necklace, you may still recognize fragments of yourself within its description. Intuition, after all, lives within each person, though we develop our capacity to honor it through different pathways and circumstances. As the quality shifts from serenity to substance, this necklace does not arrive with softness. It possesses weight, materiality, a compelling sense of significance. If the second necklace was your selection, it may have registered as heavier emotionally, not merely in visual presentation. Something about it feels unrefined, something deliberately unpolished. This roughness is its fundamental truth. This necklace calls to those who have moved through difficulty, rather than around it. You are not attracted to fantasies of perpetual brightness or pain-free existence. You understand that genuine strength typically develops in spaces of fracture and reconstruction, not in environments of constant comfort and protection. Individuals who select this necklace tend to possess emotional fortitude. You might not characterize yourself as gentle, yet you are profoundly and authentically human. You have encountered situations demanding perseverance, emotional stress, grief, disillusionment, or heavy responsibility. Rather than fragmenting under pressure, you evolved. This capacity deserves recognition. This choice indicates someone who has confronted their psychological shadow without flinching away. You comprehend that suffering, rage, and fear are not defects requiring elimination, but experiences requiring integration into wholeness. You are pragmatic, stable, and frequently far more resilient than others perceive. Yet shadow consciousness brings its own burdens. You may construct emotional defenses that create distance even when connection is genuinely desired. Trust develops slowly, not because you lack openness, but because experience has taught you the cost of premature vulnerability. A tendency can emerge to shoulder burdens in isolation, interpreting vulnerability as dangerous exposure rather than as a pathway to authentic relationship. The profound teaching of this necklace is not about maintaining hardness. It concerns transformation. You are being called to cultivate softness without sacrificing strength, to permit others to encounter your depth without triggering feelings of unsafety or excessive exposure. Shadow does not dissolve through denial or suppression. It becomes wisdom when acknowledged and understood. If this necklace spoke to you, your present life phase may be asking you to release the requirement for continuous control, not abandoning self-protection entirely, but relaxing it strategically where trust has been genuinely earned and demonstrated. As we continue, notice how emotional quality begins to elevate. The subsequent necklace radiates warmth rather than density. Where this one speaks of endurance and survival, the next addresses expression and becoming. Where this one was shaped by what you withstood, the next reflects what you are preparing to embody. Even if this necklace was not your selection, its presence offers important remembrance. Every human being carries shadow material. Not everyone possesses the courage to face it directly. Those who do are rarely unchanged by the encounter, following the substantial weight of shadow work. This necklace creates immediate contrast the moment your attention lands upon it. Warmth radiates here, along with clarity and a distinct sense of forward momentum. If the third necklace attracted you, it likely felt energizing rather than soothing. It did not draw you deeper into interior space. It extended an invitation toward external engagement. This symbol resonates with people who maintain strong connection to purpose, direction, and active self-expression. Those drawn to this necklace often carry what might be described as internal fire. You may feel most authentically alive when creating, initiating, or constructing something meaningful. Merely comprehending life feels insufficient. You desire full participation in its unfolding. This choice reflects confidence, though not the unstable variety that requires constant external validation. It speaks of self-trust rooted in clear intention. You likely possess natural capacity to inspire others, not through manipulation or force, but simply through presence and conviction. When you move with clarity of purpose, others often align with your direction. A profound sense of responsibility accompanies this orientation. You may feel summoned toward greater expression, toward utilizing your time with consciousness, toward leaving meaningful contributions. You remain aware of your potential, sometimes uncomfortably aware, and this awareness fuels your determination and drive. However, even radiant light casts shadow. You may experience pressure to maintain constant strength, motivation, or productivity. Deceleration can trigger discomfort, as though rest might diminish your capability or disconnect you from purpose. An unspoken anxiety may exist around losing momentum or disappointing those who rely upon your energy and leadership. The deeper wisdom of this necklace concerns balance and sustainability. Your light is not designed to burn without replenishment or rest. Authentic vitality emerges not from relentless motion, but from alignment, from knowing when to advance and when to restore. Purpose is not validated through exhaustion. It is sustained through conscious awareness and self-knowledge. If this necklace resonated with you, your current life chapter may be inviting you to reconnect with why you move forward, not merely how quickly you progress. To allow your energy to flow from genuine meaning rather than from obligation or external expectation. As we proceed, observe how the tone shifts once more towards softness. The next necklace steps away from ambition and outward expression, turning attention instead toward restoration and renewal. Where this one radiates outward, the next draws energy back inward toward healing, grounding, and regeneration. Even if this was not your chosen symbol, its presence reminds us that light achieves greatest power when rooted in sustainable source. After the brightness and external orientation of the previous necklace, this one registers as quieter, though certainly not less powerful. It feels stabilizing, restorative, vital in an entirely different manner. If the fourth necklace resonated with you, your attention was probably captured by its organic textures rather than by polished shine. Something about it communicates honesty, something beautifully imperfect yet deeply calming. This necklace speaks to individuals currently navigating a phase of healing, not necessarily from dramatic trauma, but from extended periods of emotional depletion, self-abandonment, or systemic imbalance. You may have invested significant life energy in giving, accommodating, or maintaining strength for others. Now, something within you is requesting care and attention. People who select this necklace often value equilibrium over intensity. You seek stability, emotional clarity, and authentic belonging not through approval seeking, but through internal alignment with your own truth. You may feel growing desire to reduce pace, to honor bodily wisdom, and create protected space for self-nourishment. Wisdom lives within this choice. Healing does not signify weakness or failure. It indicates awareness and maturity. It means recognizing that growth sometimes requires rest rather than effort. That balance is not achieved through increased doing, but through intentional engagement with what genuinely nourishes your system. This path contains its own shadow territory. You may struggle with boundary setting in your commitment to maintaining relational peace. You may assume emotional responsibility that does not legitimately belong to you. A tendency can develop toward excessive giving, done so quietly that exhaustion accumulates unnoticed until crisis arrives. You may also defer your own requirements, believing they can wait indefinitely, even as your internal voice persistently requests attention. The profound teaching of this necklace is permission. Permission to pause without guilt. Permission to decline without explanation. Permission to heal without apology or justification. If this necklace chose you, your present life phase may be extending an invitation to restore your energetic reserves before resuming forward movement. Healing is not a deviation from purpose. It is integral to purpose. As we approach the final symbol, notice how energy transforms again. The next necklace carries mystery rather than comfort. Where this one heals what has been depleted, the next awakens what has remained hidden. It addresses curiosity, meaning-making, and a desire to comprehend dimensions deeper than surface appearances. Even if this necklace was not your selection, its message retains relevance. Balance is not discovered by ignoring yourself, but by honoring what you genuinely feel and require. This final necklace resists immediate comprehension. It invites curiosity, contemplation, a willingness to explore beneath obvious appearances. If the fifth necklace was your selection, you may have felt drawn to its enigmatic quality rather than to comfort or familiarity. Something about it registers as symbolic, containing layers, complexity, and deliberate elusiveness. This is the necklace of those who sense that life operates on multiple frequencies simultaneously. People who resonate with this symbol typically identify as seekers and questioners. You investigate meanings, patterns, and invisible connections between seemingly separate phenomena. Simple explanations feel insufficient because you perceive that existence unfolds across multiple dimensions at once: psychological, emotional, spiritual, and archetypal. This choice reflects a consciousness that searches for truth beyond surface presentation. You may feel called toward deep self-understanding, toward exploring philosophical frameworks or internal territories that others dismiss or overlook. Curiosity is not recreational for you. It is fundamental to your way of being in the world. A strong sense of destiny or guidance often accompanies this orientation. You may perceive your life as influenced by unseen intelligence, intuition, synchronicity, or meaningful coincidence. Events rarely feel purely accidental. Even difficulties often reveal significance once sufficient perspective develops through reflection. However, depth orientation carries its own complications. You may overthink situations and possibilities. You may drift excessively into abstract ideation and reflection, losing contact with immediate present experience. A sense of separation can develop, from others or even from yourself, when the inner world becomes more compelling than external engagement. The profound teaching of this necklace is embodied grounding. Wisdom is not meant to remain elevated above daily life. It is meant to be lived and expressed. Insight becomes genuinely powerful only when integrated into concrete choices, relationships, and actions. Awakening is not escape from reality. It is radical presence within reality. If this necklace chose you, your current life phase may be inviting you to bring what you know into what you do, to allow meaning to inform your actions, not merely your contemplations. And now, stepping back to view the complete picture, something becomes evident. Each necklace represents a different internal movement and developmental phase. Intuition, resilience, purpose, healing, and awakening. None of these cancel or negate the others. In truth, they are all dimensions of the unified human journey. Your choice does not permanently define your identity. It reflects where you currently stand. If you feel moved to share, leave a comment indicating which necklace resonated with you. Often reading how others experience these symbols reveals unexpected dimensions of our own response. And if this reflection provided value, consider exploring additional content on the channel. Each offering represents another invitation to listen more attentively to yourself, because while the symbols may change, the journey of self-discovery continues endlessly.